Hi, it's Michael, and we're looking at the XLM USD chart, stellar lumens. Now, I've gone ahead and I've gone into small degree counts, in depth XLM analysis for this wave C down. Now, this is sort of going to confirm that it is a wave C down. Now, in one of my last XLM videos, I did mention that I believe it's a wave C, and wave one down was a zigzag. We had A, B, C, D, E. So then if we're going to see a wave three zigzag, how's that going to look like? And where are we at? Where are we up to now in the decline? So to start off, the first part of the wave three zigzag, you can see one little zigzag, one, two, three zigzag, four, five zigzag. So that's wave A. Now, wave B was short and sharp, and then we started the C wave. And I believe that's exactly what's just completed, the C wave. Okay, so we're not done yet in this bear market, unfortunately, according to this count, according to my opinion, right? It's my opinion only. And we can see a one, two, three, not expanded, but very sideways, wave four, and then a wave five. Okay, that to me does look complete. One, two, three, four, five. And just to really confirm this sort of thing, if you take the length of wave three, it is the exact same size as this wave. Exact. Like I couldn't get more exact than that. So it's a rule when wave one is the shortest, waves three and five tend to be similar in length. But what also adds credence to the wave five scenario is that it's a weaker wave. Wave three was the sharpest. So that kind of really rehashes on this whole pattern. Um, it's very interesting because really I cannot see it any other way. The way every single subdivision is there. Um, it's very interesting. A weak wave C there, a D and an E, a weird, strange E wave with a very small one, two, three alternation between two and four. Everything else fits amazing. So what does it mean? It means that more than likely we're going to head back to the previous wave four. Okay. Now, given that this wave two up the top here was kind of long in duration. It's actually when I called the top right here and I said we're going to go lower, I told everyone to sell. You didn't have to listen, but if you did, you're probably grateful. But we went down and now we're going to go for another bounce. Now, given alternation, it's probably going to be not as long as that one. It's probably going to go up sharp somewhat, probably produce a correction that might look like the start of a trend. Okay, might look like, like like I said, an entire correction forming in a sharp-ish kind of manner. I'd expect to see something similar to this type of bounce here, probably going on in this area, right? And then once we get there, we'll get wave four, and then we need to see another zigzag down for wave five. Okay, so yes, I do believe we're going to see another low. We have to. It's kind of like the law of the waves there. So, but we are going to go up and down again. So this is going to give you time to prepare for the move that's coming. I do believe that the next move up will go for about, could be about, it's over a year in my opinion, maybe a year and a half, um, or a bit longer. So it'll be interesting to see how this actually starts off because it could really expand, or not expand yet, but it could definitely go above all-time high. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it does. Like it may not go above it, it might go near it, Like, I don't know, I just get a feeling just due to like the types of D waves I've seen lately. D waves, they tend to get pretty big. So um, look, it's just probabilities. I'm not saying I know 100% it's going to happen, but just given the analysis that's been going on and the level of detail in this, it's like I can't deny it. It seems legit to me. Um, for me, another thing I suppose that could be mentioned here is the possibility, the possibility that this is a little bit different than what we're looking at, the way we're looking at it. Okay. So I have to consider everything here. So let's just say, for example, that we have a 1-2-1-2 scenario going on up the top here, right? Like a 1-2, right? Like, for example, because wave E in this particular wave ended above what came later, like right there. Let's just put it on the board there so you can see it. So we have the potential here that this may not be a weak 5 wave move, right? Because it sure as hell don't look weak to me, right? Something that moves down like this isn't really weak. And there's a couple of things that sort of might give that away somewhat. I'll explain it to you. So for starters, this move here, although it's a wave A at the moment, right? It's a 5 wave move. It's a weak 5 wave move. So although it may look all right now, what if this is a 1-2-1-2, weak 5 wave move for 1, 2, 3 you just saw, and what if we move up in that sharpish correction that I told you, and then we saw a 5 wave move down, followed by another pullback for a corrective um, sideways movement, potentially for a while. Why? Because look how small this correction is. If that's to be a correction, alternation would make this down here, right? It'd make it go sideways, in my opinion, right? And then potentially the length of this wave one here, you'd see it pan out right at the end. Something like that, maybe to go back. I don't think it's going to go all the way down to the previous low down here, but it could, right? It could. So the reason I'm saying this, there's two reasons. One, this could expand slightly down. It may not go sideways. The correction might expand slightly down before coming back to end there and might go down to that line. One thing. The second thing is, during this next move up in the market, does it necessarily mean that XLM will move with the market, right? Does it really mean that? Because I don't know, we've seen it before where Bitcoin moved up somewhat, back here in like this time here, but then XLM kind of kept going down, right? So there's that possibility as well. We may not see it take part in this particular move higher. It all depends on timing, or it just might be a little late to the party, right? And that's also possible, right? It might be part of this, 1.5 year bull run or whatever, maybe even 2 years in maybe like the Dow Jones, something like that. But it may not join it immediately. It may join it after maybe like, we see other markets perform a 1-2 wave. And by the time at the end of wave two occurs, that's when we might see XLM really take off, like really in a strong way, in a really like big way. So just a couple of things to consider there. I don't want to seem like I know it all. It's just I think about these things and I share them with you. And if you take them on board, great. If you don't, no worries. Um, Look, that's a possibility right now, and the waves, they're kind of sort of indicating that that's a possibility. So if that's the case, then we really haven't seen the end of the third wave, right? That would be down here, and it would look a bit different, right? So it would look like, okay, so wave three would not have ended yet. Wave four there. So one, two, three, four. Okay, so this is actually getting a little bit confusing. Let me just label this. So I'm doing this on the fly, but it makes sense to me. It's just that I got to label things, otherwise it gets confusing. So one, two, then three, one, two, three, four, five. Yeah, so three ended, and then it'd be four coming, and then five. Right. So that would be the end of just the third wave. Okay. Just the third wave. And then we'd need to get four and five. So technically, that's just wave. That's just wave three there, because remember, there's the other subdivisions that we didn't label yet. Okay, so let's just say, um, for example, we have like a bigger wave one, right? Let's just label it like this: one, two, three down here, and then we'd need to see another bounce, four, which in my opinion would come back, or whatever way this wave four ends, depends. It could bounce back to these levels depending where it ends. Like, we just don't know. And then it would have to make yet another low. So there's a good chance that this bear market may not quite be over yet, even though prices look good for a buy. Not saying you shouldn't buy any, you can dollar cost average, that sort of thing. But if you're subdividing the waves very carefully like this, you can see that there's a good chance that it might do this. So I will keep tracking this. Obviously, I always do. I just only post when I have something more interesting and makes more sense and is something a bit newer than what I previously posted. I don't like it that we're in the bear market. I prefer that we weren't. But how do you get to that point where you can scoop up the opportunities, right? Well, you have to understand where we are, and if we don't have this level of understanding in the waves, then how do we know when to get in, right? And I think that's the whole purpose of why I do what I do. If I can see the opportunity and it's there, I will say, look, it looks good, right? It looks like there's a complete move here. We should anticipate a reversal, right? But if I don't see it, I'm not going to just post about it saying, yeah, it's time for a bull market, etc. So I suppose, just to go back to what I was saying before, this type of thing really does make me think that, yeah, we could see XLM miss out on this bull market run. Because imagine all this stuff has to happen, and what if the Dow Jones starts moving up in the next couple of weeks or something, right? Um, who knows how long this is going to take, right? Who knows? I don't know. So, yep. So Hopefully, it's been instructional and informative. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one.